Okay, let's utilize our beep coach and contact trainer to learn a forehand ground stroke that's powerful and consistent. In this video, we're going to go over 3 checkpoints and 2 principles that are the core of the forehand ground stroke. Now, I'm going to make this from the perspective of a right-handed player, so lefties, remember, you're going to have to flip things around. Okay, let's start with the grip. What you want to do is use 2 points on your hand, one at the bottom knuckle of the index finger, and one just on the bottom of the right palm pad there. If you look from the back, right here also on the bottom knuckle of the index finger, and kind of where the hand starts to merge with the wrist. And what you want to do is, you want to put both those points on the number 3 bevel of the racket. If you notice, the bottom of your racket is an octagon, it has 8 sides. If you start from the top edge, you're going to go 1, 2, 3. And that side of the racket is number 3. You're going to put both those dots on that number. And what you'll notice is it has my hand on the racket kind of at an angle. You'll see a space between my index finger and my middle finger. In other words, I'm not holding on the racket like a hammer. You want to have those fingers spread out. Now, the forehand is where we see the most variation in grips among players. We see some players down on number 4, which is a semi-western grip, or even number 5, which is a full western grip. I recommend, if you're not sure where to start on number 3, the eastern forehand grip. Lots of top players use this grip, and it's also great for options and even disguise. So if you've watched our video on how to use the beep coach and contact trainer, this information is a review. But I want to start with this most important principle because it's definitely the most common error I see among tennis players. That principle is learning to use friction to elevate the direction of the ball. Now, to do that, you have to get your racket below the level of the ball, create a nearly vertical racket face at contact, and then finish above the ball. Notice how I just dominate from my shoulder, from here, lifting to here. So as we go through the forehand ground stroke today, remember, this is definitely the most important part. In fact, I would even go as far as to say, if this is all you did when you tried to hit a tennis ball, you would definitely have some success in this game. So typically all the shots you're going to hit from the baseline are going to start from the ready position. So let's review that first, and then we'll get into our key checkpoints. So in the ready position, I have that number 3 eastern grip. You'll notice how my racket is slightly tilted forward, and it's also centered. I have my opposite hand up on the throat of the racket, and notice how the racket is slightly pushed away from my body, and my elbows are slightly raised. All right, let's start with our first checkpoint. It's going to be the unit turn. It's pretty simple, actually. All you have to do from the ready position is just turn your upper body and have a little separation of the hands. This is how you're initially going to prepare for the forehand ground stroke, and you want to get it done as quickly as possible. Okay, so we've got our unit turn. We see the ball coming into us. What you want to do now is something very few people do when they initially start tennis, and that's let the racket drop in a low and closed position. You see how the strings are hooded down towards the ground. We also sometimes call this the pat the doggy on the head position. It's so important to do this as your arm works on a radius, and that's going to allow you to swing very fast and get the racket face positioned properly, leading into contact. Okay, after the low and closed position, we're going to simply swing up and fast, and we're going to finish in the picture position or the follow through. I want you to take note of a few things. One, look how I've caught my racket with my opposite hand. That's going to help me not pull open and also help me recover quicker. Notice how my right chin is down to my shoulder. This implies that I didn't shift my head up, a common problem really messing up people's forehands. Lastly, notice how all my weight has shifted to a straight front leg and I'm up on my back toe. Okay, let's go ahead and put those 3 key checkpoints together. So I'm going to start in my ready position. My racket's center tilted forward. I'm on grip number 3, eastern forehand grip. I'm going to execute the unit turn where my hands slightly separate, but my racket's up high. Then my racket's going to fall down low and closed in the pat the doggy position. And then I'm going to finish in the picture position. And I want you to repeat those 3 key positions about 10 or 15 times until you really feel confident that you understand those 3 key positions. Okay, one thing to keep in mind is that low and closed position is almost indiscernible when you watch high-level tennis. The reason is it just happens too fast, and the swing is really fluid in between the unit turn and the picture. So once you mastered those 3 checkpoints, what you're going to try to do is you're going to try to not stop at the low and closed position. You're going to start in your unit turn, and then you're going to finish in your picture position. And that's going to bring us to our next checkpoint, which is that you want to swing in the shape of a Ferris wheel. And this should make a lot of sense to you because you want your swing to match the shape of the court, which is long and rectangular, And also match the shape of the spin, which is a vertical top spin. Okay, so let's review. We have our Eastern forehand grip with our hand angled on the bevel of the racket. We're starting in our ready position where our racket is centered, slightly tilted forward. Our non-hitting hand is up on the throat, and our arms are up off our body. From there, we're gonna go into the unit turn where our racket's back and we have some separation of the hands. Then we're gonna drop into the low and closed position, not stopping too long. We're gonna use friction to get the ball to go up, and then we're gonna finish in our picture position. And at that point, we would have taken a Ferris wheel shaped swing. So again, 3 checkpoints, unit turn, low and closed, picture. 2 principles: swing in the shape of a Ferris wheel and use friction to carry the ball up. Okay, I would definitely review through this video and make sure you have a solid understanding of these checkpoints and principles. Then get out there with your beep coach and just get those reps. Get tons of reps on the forehand ground stroke, and then try to take that to the court with you, and I guarantee you're gonna be hitting quality forehands very quickly. That's gonna help you enjoy this great lifetime sport.